It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. I'm Deborah Fielding and welcome to It's All About You, the podcast. And I have had the most wonderful pleasure of catching up with Mary Mountford Lister at Maggies Cancer Care Centre in Oxford. And what a delightful conversation we had. Let's listen in. And so I find myself today in a tree house in Oxford with the lovely Mary Mountford Lister, and we're in Maggie's Cancer Care Centre. So welcome, Mary.
Thank you very much, Deborah. It's lovely to be here.
Yeah, what an exquisite setting this is. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you try and describe it to my listeners? Because it's an unusual situation we're here in this building.
Yeah, sure. It's a bit like a tree house.
Yeah.
So when I look around, I can see lots of greenery and trees on the outside. So when our architects were given the plot of land, they were given a little bit of a dip in the ground. So they've created this beautiful space where you kind of come in on ground level. But as you go out through the building, the windows at the back just overlook beautiful trees. And they're amazing at the moment, completely.
Yeah, it's stunning, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just absolutely beautiful.
So when I first encountered Maggie's, we were in the autumn.
Yeah.
But it looks super duper today with everything in bloom, and it's such a calm, peaceful environment from a dip in the ground, which is what you just said, a dip in the ground to produce this is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's architecturally beautiful, so it's a nice space to be in. So I just wondered if we could, I'd never heard of Maggie's prior to being diagnosed with cancer. I suppose why would I? But you've played a vital role in my journey through, both whilst I was going through the treatment and since. I just wondered if you could give me a little bit of history on the background, because I know that Maggie's started, was it in 1996 in Edinburgh? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first Maggies Centres was opened in Edinburgh, and it was a converted stable block at the hospital up in Edinburgh. And the charity was started by somebody called Maggie Jenks.
That's right.
Maggie was very well established in the world of design, very well known in the field of Chinese garden design, actually. And so for her, that whole sense of environment, being somewhere that was peaceful and calm and beautiful, was just so important to her.
Yeah.
So she worked with her clinical teams back in the early 90s.
Because she had cancer.
She did, yeah. She had breast cancer.
That's right,
So she had secondary breast cancer. Sadly, she died before that first centre was opened up in Edinburgh.
It's just amazing.
I think she'd be so proud of what's happened now.
I agree. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Really, yeah.
And I don't know whether you know our current chief executive, Laura Lee, was her breast care nurse. So the roots go back.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's lovely for us who are working now for the charity. I've been involved for 2.5 years to know that there's that link in our organisation that goes back.
There's some real depth to it, isn't there?
There's real depth, real history.
But I find, for me, when you walk in, the whole place flows. The history of it flows. It's a heartbreaking story that she didn't know about all this, to be fair. But what a wonderful way to carry on somebody's legacy.
Yeah, it's a huge legacy.
It is. Yeah. And you said that she wanted a calm, peaceful environment. I mean, this embodies that in Oxford, and I expect the others do as well, and that's incredible.
I think it's mystical and magical, actually. I'm not a designer by background at all, but every day, and what an amazing place to come to work, actually. I feel so fortunate to come to work here every day, and we see visitors to the centre every day who remark on the colour schemes, the comfort of the furniture, the lighting, the angles.
The tone of it is perfect. It is. It's super calm in here. I love it. I love coming in. You're kind of transported as soon as you walk through the doors. That's how I felt. I felt, because across the road, of course, is the Cancer Care Centre. Where all the treatments go on, and you walk in here and you're in a different world altogether. And actually I think that's a really vital ingredient when you're going through something as desperate as cancer, really. So there are more than how many centres? There's quite a few, isn't there? There's some in London, and I believe there's some overseas as well.
There are. We've got 22 open at the moment, and actually 2 of those are overseas. There's one open in Tokyo and one in Hong Kong. There's one in development in Barcelona, and several others really underway in this country as well.
And they've all got an architectural bent to them. They're all a little bit different. Is that the deal here?
They're all beautiful and different and unique. So they're all commissioned to really excellent architects with fabulous design, and they're given a design brief. So we have things that we need from the building, but each and every one of them comes up with something unique. I guess working with what they've got. So as we were saying earlier, we had a dip in the ground.
I love that you said that, because that's exactly right. You did it is a dip in the ground, isn't it? But this is so stunning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So there's a fabulous book actually, if anybody wanted to have a look at it, called The Architecture of Hope, and it's got images of all of the centres that have been developed so far. It's got a lot of information about the design brief and the philosophy, a lot about Maggie's philosophy, and a lot about the sort of academic side as well of design and how the buildings have been put together.
Yeah, it's astonishing. An astonishing story. Yeah, really nice. And so, talking about this particular centre here in Oxford, how long has this been open? And
okay, so this is 5 years, just coming up 5 years. We had our official opening in October 2014, so we're approaching our 5th birthday party. So plans underway at the moment actually to have a celebration to mark that 5 years of being open. Yeah, so we're all very excited about that.
And I expect you get lots of different types of cancers walking through the door. You're dealing with people that are having treatment currently, or have been through treatment, or you get quite a wide range. So that's quite a sensitive area. I first time I came in, I marvelled at that actually, because I don't know how I could work or deal with that, having gone through what I've gone through, and I think you do a remarkable job. And it's nice to come in and be able to lean on somebody.
Sure. Yeah, here we do. We see people from all walks of life. I feel that here at Maggie's and all the centres, we've got a really wide open door. So, into male and female, young and old, whatever people's background is, they're really welcome. And the idea is that people can come in and they can tell us their story. We can chat with them in a very relaxed way, just kind of work out with them what the support is that they need. Help them to look at our programme, the different things that we do, maybe just to pinpoint 1 or 2 things initially that might just work for them. I think there's a real magic in just giving people the time and space to think
you're right.
and to talk.
Yeah, I think that's right. It kind of, you feel like time's suspended when you come in here. It was a bit of a weird experience for me when I first came, because your mind's so full of this situation that's going on, and you come in here and it just feels like everything's held, just suspended in the air, and you can speak to people, or there's financial advisors, there's nutritionists, there's everything you need really to get you through. And that's a remarkable thing. Yeah,
it's a really comprehensive programme, and I'm really pleased that you've mentioned our welfare benefits advisor, who spends a lot of time working with people who are just feeling that their cancer diagnosis and the treatment that they're going through has just put extra pressure on the finances. When you're stressed and you've just been told you've got cancer and you're going through treatment, and your thinking's muddled, that can just be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
It can.
Just thinking about money and worrying about that.
I had exactly that story. It was a difficult time. I'm a single parent to 2 great big tall teenagers that eat a lot. And it does. It takes you into a different space. But I spoke to your financial chat with just speaking to somebody else and getting all my ducks in a row, making sure I was doing the right thing. And the next time I came back, I saw him, and I just mentioned to him that the information he'd given me had transformed everything for me.
Yeah.
He looked really surprised.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
And he had no idea he'd
Yeah.
done that for me, really. And that was immense for me.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so often we find that it is just maybe one little nugget of information, maybe that people hadn't taken on board, that can be really helpful. And I'm thinking about finances. I'm also thinking about things like travel insurance. That can throw up all sorts of questions when you've been ill, not just with cancer, but with other illnesses as well.
Yeah.
So we have a list that we've compiled of travel insurance companies that we know work really well with people who've been diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just that simple
thing,
a
that's
question.
bothering you.
Yeah. Or we can give you this, go and try this,
Yeah.
and just steer people through to ways that they might be able to get the help
Yeah.
they need. Yeah.
Lovely. So part of the reason I've started this podcast is you're in a space prior to being diagnosed, BC, before cancer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You go through this journey, and then to come out the other side and rebuild your life can sometimes be a real heave-ho. And Maggie's offers what I like to call a little, stepping stones to take you through the journey, which gives you a little bit of energy and time and space in your head to figure out what comes next.
Yeah, it makes such sense, yeah.
It does, and I think that's enormous to receive that. And I've no idea whether that's the job that you really do, but those stepping stones were vital for me, and I'm sure they have been for other people.
Yeah. As you know, you're echoing what we hear so often. People will use all sorts of metaphors like, stepping stones, or you were a lifeline is one of the things I hear. It's just, you've helped me find my way through what was a very muddly, confusing, quite frightening time for a lot of people. Yeah, I think that does come down a lot to the space and the time.
Yeah.
That we give, that there's no pressure.
No, there's not. There's no pressure whatsoever. I've sat in here having spoken to whoever I came to speak to, and just sat. And there's no issue about, you need to go now. There's none of that. I could have stayed here probably all day if I'd wanted to.
They might ask you to leave at 5.
When you lock up, there's no beds. But ultimately, there's not been any pressure for me to leave at all. And it's almost like a sanctuary in a way.
It is, and I wish your listeners could see where we're sitting now.
Oh,
because we're sitting
gorgeous.
in this lovely room with a rug and an L-shaped sofa and a big comfy chair.
And a lovely view with all the greenery and the trees around us. And it's a very special, magical place, really, in a way. And I think trying to rebuild your life after you've had it, we need this kind of environment to find that space in your head to work out what is next. And oftentimes hustling and trying to find out what you should be doing next isn't almost the right approach. It's having the peace and calm that Maggie's affords you that enables you to be able to find what comes next.
Yeah. It's allowing time for those ideas to sort of just settle down, isn't
It's completely that,
A lot to do with taking stock about what's happening.
It is, and I think I don't know how you've created it, but you've created it really well. Being in here allows you to do that. It gives you the space in your brain, the calmness around you.
Yeah, and I think it's a real mixture of the building and the clever design and the decoration and the artwork that's around. We know there's so much evidence that says physical environment affects how we feel. So we really capitalise on that and use that in Maggie's. And then there's the people that work here as well, the team of staff and the volunteers who work with us. We are carefully put together to be people who can be welcoming and draw people in, can spend time with people, listen to what their concerns and issues are.
Yeah, lovely.
Just try and create that calm.
So, Mary, what is your role here in the centre? What do you do?
What do I do?
What do you do?
Do you know, every day is different, which is one of the things I love about it. My role at the moment is acting centre head. Our current centre head is away for a while, so I'm in charge of overseeing the building, trying to maintain that calm that you were talking about. I'm working with a fabulous team to do that, and my background is cancer nursing, so my other hat is as a cancer support specialist, so spending time with people who visit the centre. As we were saying earlier, we never know from minute to minute who's going to walk through the door, what their history is, what their concerns are, what their background is, what their hopes are, what they're grappling with. So my job is to spend time with those people as they come through.
And so that it's interesting. Do you specifically look for people that have either been touched by cancer or had training in cancer, or how do you qualify to be here?
To be here, to work here. Yes, so absolutely. So the cancer support specialists are usually from a cancer nursing background or from a treatment radiotherapy background, so the people that were actually giving the radiotherapy.
Oh, well, on that, I must just say, I had my radiotherapy here.
Yeah.
Oh, they were insanely brilliant.
Yeah.
What a fabulous team. They scooped me up a couple of times when I was upset for a lady that was crying in the reception, and I went along and I asked if someone could go and help her, and they were fabulous because they got me together and said, you know, this is about you. You can't take on everybody else's problems. We're concerned for you, and we want you to just get yourself together. And I thought, oh, whoa, this is astonishing. You know, and I had that on a couple of occasions when I was just feeling low, and I could see it all around. They're very caring. Yeah.
Do you know, we hear that all the time, and I guess having been a nurse over in the hospital, I do know how busy people are. There are lots of people to be seen and to be treated, and you know, I would say we almost every day we hear our visitors say they're so busy over there, but they care so much.
Oh, they do.
There's so much kindness over in the hospital.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
It is amazing. I've got, from my particular point of view, I've been looked after superbly right the way through. But I've told everybody about the radiology department here because they're insane. Actually, they go above and beyond, and they're a happy team as well.
Yeah, I love that. Insanely good.
That's brilliant. They are insanely good. Yeah, and you feel cared for, propped up. You know, you're in good hands.
Yeah, and that's so important, though, isn't it? To feel that you're safe.
Yes.
To feel that you're surrounded by people who've got your best interests at heart.
Especially when you're going through that.
Brilliant.
Because it's quite alarming. Those machines, if you've not seen them before, are quite intimidating. And I remember lying there on my first radiotherapy session, and there were tears just trickling down the side of my face because it was just another reminder of how did I end up here, you know? But the people that were looking after me, they were just so brilliant. They were fantastic. They know that's what you're going through, actually. And they're special, I think, over in that department. So
I would echo that.
Yeah, coming back to Maggie's, that's where they come from. That's no surprise. That's
so
fantastic.
Absolutely. So all of the cancer support specialists would have come through from a cancer nursing or radiotherapy background. And we have clinical psychologists on our team. We have our welfare benefits advisor, fabulous people coming in on a sessional basis, like our nutritionist, Tai Chi teacher, yoga teacher, you know. I've been here 2.5 years, and they've certainly been here longer than me, so they're so used to working in our environment and with the people who use our centre. So loads of skill and sensitivity and compassion from the people who work here, whether it's full-time or part-time. And can I just mention our volunteers?
Yes, do.
Because I just want to rave about our insanely brilliant volunteers. We have volunteers who come into the centre and will give us at least a morning or an afternoon of their time every week. Some are giving more than that, and that's to help us in drop-in. So our doors are open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. People can come in without an appointment, and they'll always get greeted at the door and sort of ushered into the space and made to feel very welcome. And that's what we rely on our volunteers for. So those people are really carefully chosen to be people who are just warm and friendly, confident, and just able to be that welcoming presence that just says, come on in, you know, you're really welcome.
Oh, that's really fascinating.
We rely on them.
So if you need volunteers, I assume, and if anybody wanted to volunteer for Maggie's, what would they have to do?
Just give us a ring. If they're around the Oxford area, give us a ring, or if they're nationwide, just call the main Maggie's number there's a London office. There are offices in Glasgow.
Well, I often speak to people that say, I'd like to volunteer, but I don't know what to do. And I said, you know what, you just phone up, and I can guarantee you they're not going to be unhappy to hear from you. They'll be delighted to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a supporter care team, and they would always be really happy to hear. And I've mentioned the volunteers that we use in the centre to greet people, but across the organisation we use volunteers for other things. So, for example, our fundraising events. We need volunteers to help support those.
Yeah, and I expect you have fundraising days.
Yeah, we do. We've got a couple of fabulous fundraisers here actually who they're tasked with raising about £400,000 for us this year to keep this centre going.
So the volunteers, you might have additional volunteers for the events that you put on.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So there are some events coming up. There's a walk called Walk With Me that where people are walking to raise money for Maggies, and there'll be people stewarding for that.
I saw a dog jog.
Oh, I've never heard of a dog jog before. Was that for Maggies?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never heard of it before. I thought, that's fabulous.
Where's
a dog
that?
jog. I didn't click on the link actually. I thought that, but I'm not into jogging. But I have got a dog.
So you
but that kind of made me chuckle. I thought it catches your imagination, catches your attention.
Actually, people do all sorts of things for us through things they've organised themselves.
Yes,
It's big stuff, people will very generously leave money for us in their wills, and that makes such a difference to us. People will arrange to jump off tall buildings or out of aeroplanes or run insane distances, We've got a grid that somebody in Maggie's has worked out the distances between all of the centres. So there are people at the moment doing sponsored cycle rides to all of the centres in the UK.
Lovely.
Through to our fundraising team building up relationships with local businesses and companies and encouraging them to support us for a year, maybe getting their staff involved in doing fundraising events. So we're always really keen to put the word out that we're a charity and we really do rely on it's just incredibly generous donations, really. Yeah,
which is you'd be lost without them.
So there's a lot of goodwill out there.
There is a lot of goodwill out there, and oftentimes it's just a quiet goodwill that you don't always need to be shouting about, but it is there.
Absolutely.
So Mary, I'd like to say thank you for having a chat with me. I think before we started I said I've been in 3 times before, and on each of those occasions I had a life enhancing situation, I had a life changing situation, and a life affirming situation, and that's quite incredible.
And I can't add anything to that. I don't want to say anything that will take away from that, because if we can do that,
each time somebody walks in the door, that's
so it's life affirming,
life enhancing, and life changing. Every time. I was just thinking about it the other day. I was recommended to come here by a friend, and I'm so glad I did. When I walked in, I wasn't expecting any of that. I didn't have any expectations particularly. I just walked in to see what was what, and each time I've been in, I've had that, and that's quite a lovely thing. It's a massive support on the journey through. It's a massive support and a contribution to your recovery when you come out the other side, because it's tough. It is a tough thing. So I'd like to say thank you for your contribution to my recovery, and it's a long journey and I'm still going. I've not actually finished treatment, but Maggie's has played a great part, and I know that it's done that in several other people's lives, and for that we are very grateful. Mary,
you are so welcome, and it's just been fabulous to talk to you today, Deborah. Absolutely
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's no secret that Maggie's warms my heart. Maggie's is an impressive place, an impressive environment. If you're going through tough times, don't underestimate how much that matters. It's vital, if you can't go to a place like Maggie's, that you create your own space to have some peace and calm around you, to let your brain do the working out for you. And how vital is it that you can have the support from either a professional outfit like Maggie's or a team around you, either friends or professionals, to keep you lifted and able to rebuild your life. You can't do it alone. It's got to be a collaborative effort. And I urge you to seek that out sooner rather than later if you're having tough times. It's vital you keep your mental health. And finally, I'd just like to repeat that Maggie's for me has been life enhancing, life-changing and life-affirming. And where or who can you turn to for that? Or where or who can you give that to? It's what makes the world go round. If you like this podcast, like it, comment on it, or share it. Thank you.